What's up, guys? I'm here for another video, and today we're here to talk about the movie Godzilla Minus One versus the MonsterVerse movies. And there's a lot of controversy going on between both, and like what franchise is better. This movie's getting too much praise, shit like that. So we're just gonna start talking about this, and let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is Godzilla Minus One. Now, I absolutely love this film. I think it's now probably my favorite Godzilla film as well. I love the characters, and throughout the movie, I just like the characters. I want them to make it out alive. I want those characters to be okay. And, it's something that a lot of monster movies lack these days, and it's hard to even get that in the movie anymore. And I just felt like, oh my goodness, they actually did something pretty good here. And I absolutely love what they did with the characters. Now, Godzilla was fantastic as well. I mean, they did Godzilla justice in this movie. I love how he is this scary being. I love how you could actually, in a sense, you could connect with Godzilla. And you're like, I feel bad for this creature because it was this one creature that gets mutated, and you could tell it's very painful. And you start to feel bad for Godzilla, and he's taking out his revenge. And I thought that was a pretty good take. I was actually pretty scared of Godzilla in this movie because I was scared that one of the human characters were gonna die in the movie. And that is something I've been wanting for a Godzilla movie for a long ass time. And I thought any scene with Godzilla was just badass. And even with the water scenes were my favorite parts of the movie. And I just absolutely loved it. And I just think it's one of the best monster movies or kaiju movies ever made. With all that positivity, though, comes one negative, and that is people praising the movie. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing to praise Godzilla Minus One. I think it deserves all its praise that's been getting. It's just in my opinion. I mean, because I really like this movie. But people have been comparing it to many different other movies, and one of them that's pissing off people is Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. So, yeah, that's happening, and people are getting really pissed. My opinion on this is that I think it's not comparable at all. Sure, it's the same character, but it's two separate movies. And we gotta realize that Godzilla, the MonsterVerse, is a whole different thing. And Toho's Godzilla is another different thing. But before we get to that, let's talk about the MonsterVerse. So back in Godzilla 2014, when that came out, it was a great start. We got a dark-toned Godzilla movie. We got these good characters that I actually really liked, especially Bryan Cranston's character. I think the two negatives about the movie was that they killed off Bryan Cranston's character, because I think we could have brought him into more movies to be more of that main character. And I think another negative, is that they needed to balance Godzilla a little bit more better in that movie, because it was just small glimpses we got of Godzilla until we finally got to his big fight at the end. So I think Godzilla 2014, for me personally, is an A-tier movie. I absolutely love it. Now, Kong Skull Island is my favorite kaiju movie of all time. I really just love that movie. And I love the characters. I felt for the characters in the movie. It was great. I actually cared about these characters, and I did not want any of them to die. Well, except there's some that oh, okay, great, the character died. But some I was like, oh, damn, I actually, it was kind of sad. So I actually really like the characters in Kong Skull Island, and I think Kong was absolutely badass in that movie, and they did the monsters well, and we got this perfect balance, in my opinion, with the monsters and the humans. And I think it just made this great masterpiece. And the hype it brought at the end of the movie, setting up King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, that was absolutely fantastic, and it got me so hyped for the future of the Monsterverse. Now, with positives, there's also sometimes there's negatives, and that negative for me is King of the Monsters. Now, if you don't like this movie, or if you like this movie, I fully respect that, and yeah, like, anyone's allowed to like a movie, of course. But this movie just wasn't for me. I did not like the human characters in the movie. I thought Rodan and Mothra were just kind of turned to sidekick characters, and then I think they could have done Ghidorah just a tiny bit better. And you know, if you want to see me do a Monsterverse video on how I would remake the Monsterverse, then just tell me in the comments and I will make that. But basically, I was really upset how we went from 2014 with this new type of tone and this dark tone and like this more grounded universe. I was like really liking that, how they did that with Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island. But then they kind of just messed it up with King of the Monsters, and I was just really upset about that. And it just really was just a huge downgrade in my opinion. But then later on we got GBK, which followed the kind of same approach, but I think that movie was just more fun than anything. I think Godzilla vs. Kong is a fun watch where it's just so much action in that movie, and I honestly like Godzilla vs. Kong. And that is what they are going for in GXK, which, by the way, I know why -1 fans are getting really upset with the Monsterverse, and I'm pretty sure that's because it went from 2014 to a more goofier type film, and I think that's what got a lot of fans upset about that movie, and I can kind of agree. I would have loved the darker tone movies in the future, you know, like I would have wanted that for King of the Monsters and GBK. But it turned out that wasn't going to be the case, and we got the Monsterverse now. And honestly, I'm still excited for Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. I know it's going to be a fun movie. I know people are complaining about the CGI, but when people demand for all monster scenes, you're gonna get bad CGI because the full movie is basically CGI. I mean, it's just a full movie with CGI monsters. Like, I've been hearing there's gonna be like 8-minute segments where it's just monsters doing their own thing. Like, that's crazy by itself. And I mean, if like D-Man 1954 actually explained this, and I will put his video in the description because I think you guys should go watch that, because he actually gave a pretty good point on that. And honestly, I don't even know if it's really if it's really Adam Wingard's fault at this point, because that's just what people wanted. I did not want that. I was more, I'm okay with the humans in there, just make them good human characters. But people really wanted like scenes just to be monsters, and I really disagree with that. But I think when they're not doing shitty characters, I think just because I think the thing that was like putting Godzilla vs. Kong down is that the human characters were like, oh yeah, here's the human characters again, you know? It's like, kind of have to focus on them. it's like King of the Monsters. At this point, I would just rather see the monsters because the characters just really sucked in that movie. So, yeah, that's my opinion on GXK. They're doing more monsters, and I'm actually kind of excited. I would prefer if they could put some really good human characters in there, but they're not. They're just, kind of doing the human characters, and that's it. We're just getting full monster stuff. So, in conclusion, I think comparing -1 with Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is pretty stupid. They're not comparable. One is the MonsterVerse is just now focusing on action, and -1 is focusing on a grounded type of horror like movie. And in a way, this could be a good thing. The people that want to see those more action-packed Godzilla movies can be pleased by the MonsterVerse. The ones who want to see the more horror-like Godzilla movies, go see -1. And yes, I would be excited to see a universe for -1. I think that would be a great idea. And I think just two universes, two takes of Godzilla at the same time could be pretty cool to see. So, with that being said, that is it for this video. I think everyone should just get along. I think it's stupid that people are fighting over some Godzilla movies. And basically, yeah, that is it for this video. I did hand select some videos for you guys. It's a series called Kaiju and Friends, and it's pretty funny. So I hope you enjoy that, and I recommend it. I really do. Just go watch it. And yeah, that's it for this video. Comment down below what you think about this video and your opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.